Mi gente, I'm just gonna take you on this ride because I'm thinking out loud and I don't even really know how to express my thought, but I'm gonna give it a try because I feel in my spirit that this is something that needs to be vocalized. I've had to cut so many people out of my life, people that I love, not because I stopped loving them, but rather because I can no longer feed on the level that I used to feed on. If all you're used to eating is grass, it's going to be really difficult for you to eat from the tops of the trees and eat fruit, or worse still, to eat meat, because it's not pleasing to your palate. In the same breath, not everybody can feed on my word, and some people will feed on something because perhaps the person that is sharing the word is eloquent. Perhaps they're passionate about what they're saying. Perhaps they have a lot of followers or they are articulate. But when I hear a word, I will not just eat off of everything. Not everybody can feed me because I feed on a higher level. And so I'm going to give you an example. So a few weeks ago, this video came up on Facebook, and I don't even really go on Facebook very much, and I was surprised that this video would come up on my feed, and I was even more surprised by the fact that I listened to it for like 9 minutes or something like that. That this flaming guy, maybe you don't like that I use the word flaming, but get past your discomfort because there might be a word in here for you. This guy, just because you might know who he is by my description of him, was talking about how, obviously he's gay. He's got a lot of, and his teenage nephew had come to live with him. And so he was going on and on about how he had all these houses and all these cars and all this money and the mentality, that he doesn't have a slave mentality and this and that. It all sounded so good, right? But I kept listening, and he was saying that he bought his nephew a very expensive car because he had modeled his parenting after the white neighbors that were in the vicinity of his summer home, because he did make sure to mention that he had more than one home. And so it sounded good, right? He said, "Oh, I gave him this car because he doesn't have to have a slave mentality, and he can believe that he can eat on this level." And, after the video, which was very eloquently spoken, and it was inspiring and passionate and all of that, I read the comments, and most of the people were African American. He's African American. They were so enamored by his words and by his message, because when you're used to eating off the ground, when somebody offers you something a little bit higher that is pleasing to your palate, it is delectable. It's like, oh my God. They were like, yes, he's telling me that I can achieve another level. But you know what was wrong with the doctrine? And what was missing from his message was the fact that he gave his nephew, he gave it to him, okay? He gave his nephew $100,000 car that now his nephew is going to have to come to him to maintain, because that car can't take cheap gas. And if that kid doesn't have a job, how's he even going to pay for gas? What about if something breaks on that car? What if he needs to maintenance it? So my point is this. It is great to have a great gift, but if it is great to be gifted, but if you do not develop the skills, and if you do not have the tools to maintenance what you've got, it's gonna break down. You're gonna lose it. And so, as nice as it is to have a beautiful, expensive car, and every teenager would want to show that off, you're doing him a disservice by giving it to him for free without giving him the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding to be able to cultivate that gift. So today, I want you to consider my words, whether they were delectable to your palate or not. And I want you to analyze every word that you hear. Don't just accept something because of who it's coming from or because it sounds nice, but actually put this machine to work. Develop your thoughts and your mind. Form your own perspective. because it is through your perspective that you will manifest the world around you. And go get it. Accept it with love. Endure it with patience. Return it with force.